Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPaWrites here again, and today I want to talk about the future of Remnant 2 now that the dust has settled on the Awakened King DLC, going over not only things we know for sure are coming down the road, but also giving my best educated guesses on things we might see as well as when we might see them. So first off, we know for sure there are 2 more DLC in the works. These were included in the Ultimate Edition, so we know those are coming at some point. My best guess would be that they arrive sometime around March or April of 2024, and then mid to late summer of 2024 as well, maybe around August. So that's when I would speculate the next 2 DLC come out. If they come out sooner, that'd be great. But based on not only the history with Remnant from the Ashes, but also Remnant 2 to the Awakened King DLC, that's when I would suspect that these new DLC come out. And we might get some additional events like we got with the Halloween event, also in between those major DLC launches. And oftentimes when they do those events, they are free for everybody, and they keep a lot of the content around as long as the game is around as well. They don't just get rid of the new items, the new weapons, whatever is included in those events. So that's a good thing, and that's something we will probably see at some point. But when we see that is still up for debate. There might be a winter event. I would love to see a Christmas type event, maybe a holiday season event for Remnant 2, but there's no telling if that is actually going to happen. And if it means that the next DLC is a little bit beefier, but we don't get an event in between, I think that would be fine. However, I do like having something to do and pop back into the game with an event for a seasonal activity. I think that would be pretty cool. So we'll see on that aspect. But as far as what's included in the next 2 DLC, that is still a major mystery as well. We don't know if there's going to be a new archetype, whether there's going to be a new location that's outside of the 3 main locations that we already have in the game. But what I want to see in either of the 2 DLC overall is this. First off, I think we need cross-play as soon as possible. With the player base numbers dropping in between DLC, it would be nice to be able to play with people from across different consoles, PC, all that kind of stuff, but different platforms. And that would allow random matchmaking to be a little bit fuller. You'll have more options with people in your own location. Now that they've separated the matchmaking by region, I think that is very vital overall, and it's something that I do hope happens sooner rather than later. I also think we need a harder difficulty mode past Apocalypse as well. I would love to see both of those included before or by the next DLC. And I think both of those would really rejuvenate the game and allow people a new opportunity to not only play with different people on other platforms, but also now experience a harder difficulty so you can try out different builds and go through things, because I think everyone has kind of gotten down the pattern of Apocalypse level difficulty as long as they've been playing the game since launch, and they've really been diving in deep, and with all the additional skill points we have as well, it just makes Apocalypse mode not be as difficult as it once was, and another difficulty level would be very, very nice, or maybe even a new type of content such as a horde mode or something that is escalating difficulty could also be nice. But I do think overall an additional difficulty level would add a lot of replayability to the game. So that is something personally I would like to see in between the DLC to really bring people back for that, so they can check out the new difficulty, and then you jump back into the new DLC and you can take that on whatever difficulty level that you want to. But yeah, those are the 2 major updates that I want to see sooner rather than later. As far as within the DLC, what type of content we get, I want more guns with the next DLC. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get a new archetype in the second DLC, but we get another one in the third DLC instead. And the second DLC has a brand new location. Obviously, we had the Awakened King be in a previously visited location in Lossum, so having a new location overall to add additional flair to the place that we go, maybe additional enemy types and all that kind of stuff, I think would be fantastic. Even if it's a revisited location from Remnant from the Ashes, I think something like that would be really, really nice, and I think that would go a little bit farther than the Awakened King DLC overall did. Although I do have to say, I did very much enjoy this DLC. I thought it had a lot of good things, and it did a lot of things really well. That being said, not having to work on a whole new archetype hopefully would mean that we get more variety of stuff, whether it's a new location, whether it's a bunch of themed guns for whatever location we get to. Like I said, my speculation, second DLC, no new archetype. We do get a new location overall. We get new weapons, new armors, our amulets, rings, all that kind of good stuff. And then the third DLC, that's when we see another additional archetype, maybe returning to Nerud or something like that. I think would be a good option at that point. But that would give a new excitement level, in my opinion, to the second DLC. Having something unique to that DLC would be awesome. And then maybe even when the DLC doesn't have a full adventure mode type of activity, but instead it has different types of activities where you have to take on certain challenges like a horde mode or like something of that nature. It's not really something we've seen often from Remnant at this point, but I think being creative with the type of content they pull forward in one of the DLC and taking a bit of a risk would be nice. So either a new location, whole new type of activity that we haven't seen in the franchise so far. I think something like that would be really, really nice. Imagine escalating horde mode where you can test out your best builds, not only for damage and how quickly you can clear mobs of ads, but also survivability. You can have it solo and maybe even the leaderboard potentially, but you could have a solo option, but also a matchmaking option or a team-based option as well. I think all of those would be really, really cool. And it's something that I think would benefit Remnant 2 quite a bit, because you have so many really cool builds in the game right now that are unique to certain types of activities, or they take on certain types of difficulty levels. But having something that could take on a horde mode or maybe a boss rush mode or something like that, I think could be very, very interesting. So overall, that's something I would like to see. I don't know if it's something that is in the works, even though I would personally like it. But overall, I think the game is in good shape. I believe that it is going to continue to get better, and it's definitely a game I would recommend to anybody, especially now being on sale for like Black Friday, the holidays and everything. If you can snag the Ultimate Edition that'll include the DLC, it means you have content for now, you have content for the future, and you have so many secrets to explore. And that's one thing that Remnant 2 has not missed on. The secrets for finding the new weapon in the Awakened King DLC that was hidden, that was really cool. You had the Archon archetype in the base game as well. There's so much stuff like that, and we definitely needs another thing like that in the next DLC as well. So the other thing I want to mention is the developers did mention that they will possibly be doing additional DLC on top of the 3 that we know are for sure coming. And I think that could be fascinating. I think this is a game that you could keep going for a couple years. It just depends on if they want to start working on a third game or not, or if they want this one to be as beefy as possible by the time it ends. So having a total of 5 to 6 DLC could be absolutely insane. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. What do you think of the future of Remnant 2 overall? Where do you see the next 2 DLC for sure, and possibly 3 DLC in the future heading, as far as not only content, location, also archetypes, all of that kind of good stuff? I'd love to hear from you. My name is Jopa. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Helps me out tremendously. Shows you want to see more Remnant 2 content from me going forward. Have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.